Joe.
Thank you, Crepo, for that lovely introduction. But game 3 there, a good finisher in my eyes. Talk us through, your key moments of that one. And there was quite a lot, I think, to talk about in it.
Well, it all started out by the first pick, Shyvana, and that's pretty much the entire story for me. I feel it's such a strong champion, and it definitely put the game in its final fold already, just from the get-go. I mean, Soaz is a really strong top laner. Plus Shyvana, it's really hard to deal with. Other than that, the picking phase was pretty interesting and pretty well played by both teams after that. The contestation of Leona again, early pickup by CLG. Good counter by Fnatic saying, hey, we're not going to go for Annie again, we're definitely going for Thresh here. For a multitude of reasons, Thresh, the Flay, could interrupt the Zenith Blade. We saw that a few times. Then Afro played beautifully around that. He went opening with his ultimate, going for the immediate stun lock, and then allowing himself to Zenith Blade in while, say, Thresh was stunned. Good follow-up from Trick, but they focused too much on Yellow Star. Yes, they got him twice. They got his flash, camped him again. But meanwhile, Rekkles, he never died. He never died in the last 2 games. He died once in the first game. Sure, you're getting gold and you're killing the support, but the AD carry, if he keeps farming, it's just not enough.
I want to ask you as well about the items on Link. Double GP10, not something that we see very often, if ever, here in Europe.
I mean, Link's been known to do that apparently in NA. I even tweeted about it. I was like, hey, what's up with this? I don't want to discredit it before. I don't want to knock it until I try it. Apparently he did it a lot in the past and very rarely does it now. Just feels like he shouldn't. He's spending gold to get gold items, to get more gold to buy more items, and I feel like he could cut those steps, especially in an AFK farm lane that is Morgana against Orianna. Not too much action was happening there. I feel he could have invested early into his Athenes and then spiked a little earlier with Rabadon's death cap and maybe won more fights, but by that time it would have mattered. I think the game was already too far in Fnatic's favor, so we will never know.
What do you think to CLG overall? Obviously not going to be making it any further in this tournament, but considering this is their first tournament with the new lineup, I mean, there's some promising signs there, surely. I
mean, they're having some problems here and there. I feel, I'm not entirely sure if Trick was in his comfort zone. He did really well on Elise. He brought on Shyvana. The Jarvan, he got his gang stuff, but it was always on the support. But maybe that's just like a tactical mistake from the entire CLG lineup. We could definitely see the influence the Monte Cristo's having on them, showing them that, hey, the objectives are on the map to be taken. CLG was a lot more tower focused, a lot more rotations coming in, a lot more respect for vision. I'm definitely enjoying the way Aframu is supporting compared to his first passage. It definitely seems to enjoying a lot more, plays what he wants, plays it well. Doublelift is still Doublelift, so he's very strong. They just have to find more champions that each and every one is comfortable with, so they don't end up playing stuff they don't like, and just prepare for their opponents.
So let's talk a little bit about the final while we've got time. Obviously it's going to be an all-European thing now, Fnatic versus Gambit, which is not bad for us and for all these guys in the audience as well. But it's also a match which has been played
many times.
I don't know how many times on this very stage right here. I mean, what's your opinion on that final?
Well, the good thing is teams are not going to give anything away. It's the last time they play on 3.13, so they can really do whatever they want. Fnatic's feeling confident, Gambit's feeling confident. Gambit's well rested. So Gambit's always the best when either they bootcamp or they have a lot of time before the event, so they don't spend traveling back and forth too much. So we're going to see a really strong Gambit, and maybe slightly under-practiced Fnatic, but still showing a lot of mental agility here. So I'm really looking forward to that match. It's going to be great. Cynide's been playing well. Diamond's always been playing well. Peke had a little off game the second game, but if he gets up against Alex East, this is going to be interesting. Rekkles against Edward, so to say, both coming in new. Edward and Genja being really good entity together, combined with Rekkles and Yellow Star. All around the map, it's pretty even. I have no idea who I give it to. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not even going to try. I'm not going to try.
That's cheating.
Okay, fine. Fnatic.
Okay, there we go. That's what I wanted to know. So Fnatic going to be for that one. We've of course got the amateur final coming up here next as well. So let's just touch on that one quickly. Ninjas in Pajamas versus Copenhagen Wolves are setting up on the stage right now. What's your thoughts on that one? We were talking about it earlier on, and from my side, I'm not quite so sure what to expect out of that.
I mean, what I saw from Wolves was very surprising. Let's face it. If they lose Shook and they lose Rekkles, and I think any team losing those 2 players, I'd be like, well, yeah, well, they're done for. An amateur team, where are they going to find that other teams won't pick up? And they scouted talent, they immediately played with it, and they have synergy, and they played really, really damn well. As opposed to Ninjas in Pajamas, so-called amateur team, but they're still like 3 members of Lemon Dogs in there. They have to refine a little synergy in between. But both teams showing really, really great games, and they can definitely tie on the same level as these pro teams.
Well, we'll be bringing that game next of all. We're going to be casting together, so I'll see you on the other side. That'll be cool. So that game will be coming up next, obviously the amateur final. But first of all, we want to hear what someone has got to say about this game. Rekkles, who had a fantastic game. We saw that hug there with double lift at the end as well.
Absolutely fantastic series, and you seemed quite nervous, and I've seen you play a lot, I've talked to you a lot, and I don't think I've ever seen you this nervous. Why do you think that is?
I'm not really sure, actually. Like, for me, this time starting and going into Fnatic again was a bit different from last time. Like, last year when I joined them, I had no pressure because I was so unknown. I was just a solo queue player, pretty much. So I could just go into those games and just do my best. If I fail, I fail, and I would not really have the community and like the pressure that is applied now when I'm going into a tournament with this much hype. So I had a kind of new feeling, like being really, really nervous, which kind of helped me as well, I think, in one way. Like, it made me play a lot more careful. I only had one death through 3 games. So I think it has its good and bad side, but overall I was fine anyways in the 3rd game.
How much of that being nervous you think was inflicted upon yourself because of the whole social media thing going on?
Well, for me, it's like this thing with double lift is kind of just for fun, and I think it's good that people as well do it, because it's like, if everyone is just boring, as double lift says himself, it's like, why would people look for you? Like, posting my post on Twitter was like 500 retweets, and it was pretty cool. Like, even if it's just 3 words, it's like so much drama going, and I think it's good for the community as well to get something of that. So I will probably keep on going that. Even the hug was a bit like that as well.
A little bit of disrespect followed up by a hug. Always very nice to see. But in the game, game 2, a clear dip there for you guys. Where do you think it went wrong? Was it picks and bans? Was it decision-making in the game itself?
Pretty much the 2nd game we had a few picks that we didn't never really practiced or we really like put focus on. For example, Astral, we have been practicing in a different way with Thresh, for example. But still, I don't think that was the main problem. But like their 6 was so strong, and we couldn't really do anything because we didn't have any hard engage. Like if we had Ashe, for example, we could arrow and try to engage hard. But I think it was mostly as well like decision making, because we lost so many towers and drakes for no kind of reason without gaining anything else. So I think if we would have played that game like better decisions, we could have probably won it.
You went for Ashe, Corki, and Ezreal. And on the other side, a lot of Jinx, a lot of Lucian, we know double lift plays and says they're very strong. Why is it that you don't pick them or don't like to pick them?
I think it's not personally, because I play actually both Jinx and Lucian a lot. Lately, at least, because they have like the flavor of the month thing. But for the team, which we want to win, of course, and for the team, playing like Ashe, Ezreal, Corki, like something high, really, really high damage, or something with CC like Varus or Ashe, it fits the team so much better because Peke and Soaz is already so good at what they're doing, and they play so much damage. Like Morgana and Shyvana had so much damage that game. So even playing Ashe that game would be so good for the team, because I could engage and they could just finish them off. So it's either me playing something that like last hits people because they're already so low, or me playing something to engage so they can last hit. So it just fits the team better, I think.
All right, now, of course, you beat Doublelift and Afromu, and we have Genja and Edward waiting for you guys in the final. I mean, I can't even wait. And I can think that you're going to be very nervous as well. How are you going into that matchup?
I think the pressure will be relieved a bit from me, though. Like, personally, I feel a lot better. Like, already in the 3rd game, I was playing kind of my own game, and the pressure being relieved from my shoulders was pretty nice feeling. But going against Genja and Edward is going to be a bit different, because they play like very more aggressive than like Doublelift and Afromu is really good, but we were lane swapping twice, I think, so I couldn't really get the feeling of what they wanted to do. Just the first game when they went really, really deep and I got double kill, but I guess that didn't count. But Genya and Edward is really good, and we scream them a lot as well. And Genya for me is probably the best AD carry in Europe, so going against him will be a huge challenge.
Can you tell me finally, we had that face-off in the bottom lane at the end of game 3, and Leona got on you, and then you were 2 versus 1, and then Cyanide came in to help you. What did you say?
I told Cyanide to stay away, but he didn't. I don't know. It was just like I was so fed already by that time, so I could 1 versus 2 them, because they were really far behind. But for me, it was just a cool moment, and those moments you really feel good about them as well.
Yeah, and it was just an amazing series, of course. All props to the entire CLG for a great performance as well. Good luck in the final later versus Gambit Gaming. Thank you very much.